we do have a kids room that kids, if parents come in, we tell them like, hey, your kids can sit in here. I don't even know why we bothered to put a TV in there, but we did because kids have tablets now, and we thought we were cool because we got a TV and a DVD player. We're idiots. I don't know why we did that.
They probably have no idea. And a Nintendo. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we put a Nintendo. No one thinks we are obviously out of touch.
Yeah.
Dino, what are you doing? Get out of my seat.
So what's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the On the Move with Matt podcast. Today I'm here with Jarod and Jess Gordon, so thanks for coming on today. And they are the owners of 540 Fitness, or is it 540 Fitness?
It depends on who you ask.
Okay.
I say it both ways.
We'll go with 540 Fitness.
Yep.
So thanks for coming on today, and let's get started with talking about how you guys came to the area. So you're from here? Did you move here?
I'll start. I am actually from Front Royal. I was born and bred in Front Royal, so just a hop, skip, and a jump away from here. But I always worked in Winchester. It was just kind of where the jobs were at the time. So I have been around Winchester, and then I've lived here for, I don't know, honey, 6 years maybe. I moved in with him.
Okay.
So I've lived here with him a little bit before we got married, so about 6 years. So.
Okay. What about you, Jarod?
Yeah, I moved down here in 2013, I think, just for a teaching position in Frederick County Middle School. Yeah, that was basically it. There wasn't a whole lot of jobs up in PA. I wanted to linger around, and this seemed like a decent spot after driving through a few times.
Okay. And can you guys kind of give us like a overall view of what 540 Fitness is?
Oh, yeah, we would love to. So, it is our gym. We do group fitness for adults of all ages. We have anywhere from 18 to 70. So we specialize in helping people move better. We have a wonderful coaching staff that watches people move, make sure that they're moving properly. We combine both strength and conditioning in our programming. Jarod can tell you way more about the programming than I can, but basically we just run a fitness facility that works on making adults healthy and fit and happy and comfortable in their body, which is something that we think everyone needs.
And do you write the programming, Jarod, or how does that work?
Yeah, I write all the workouts, basically everything from our our strength and conditioning classes to our foundation classes. We just started adding some endurance workouts for our members to do on their own. But yeah, everything's all in-house.
And then you guys, do you do the group-led classes? Do you also do like individual training type stuff?
Yeah, so we have, you can do semi-private training. You can do personal training. We have nutrition coaches. We have coaches that write individual remote programming. So a wide variety of things, not just group classes. Just one of the things we offer, but there's also a lot more to that.
And you guys, have you always been like in the fitness industry, or what led you into your fitness journey here?
So we have two very different stories in this regard. I will answer for me. I definitely was not always into fitness. I was notoriously not into fitness. I had a period of my life where I was definitely overweight, unhealthy. I lived very much the standard American life. It was pizza, and it was Burger King, and it was McDonald's, and I worked a desk job. I worked for, at the time, a tableware company. So I sat in a desk for 8 hours a day, and I was, 23 years old, and I've always been very open with my story that my late husband passed away of a massive heart attack when he was 26 and I was 23. And that is what woke me up to be like, oh, wow, you only get one of these, and if you don't take care of it, then you don't get to keep it. And because when you're 23, you're invincible.
Right. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen to you. And it didn't. It took something really harsh for it to click for me.
Right.
And then I started down a path of barely eating and running a lot. And I did some yoga because I was like, okay, how do I get healthy? How do I get healthy?
Right.
And I successfully got really, really skinny.
Right.
But I didn't know that skinny wasn't healthy.
Right.
I thought that skinny meant healthy. I had no idea that you're supposed to fuel your body and take care of it. So I took the long route here.
Yeah.
I took the hard way here.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't. His story's just a little different than mine. But I took the long way around. But now I'm very, very passionate about telling people like, hey, you don't have to take the hard route.
Right.
It's not necessary. Let me help you because I already did the painful stuff. So.
Right. And were you an athlete in high school at all, or?
I was on a tennis team.
Okay.
I did not play very well, and it was I did a little bit. I just wanted to be part of the team, but no, I didn't play team sports or anything like that. I played a little bit of tennis, very poorly.
Right. Okay. Because I've seen you do your workouts now, and you obviously I've been in your classes and your coaching and all that stuff. So you seem to be very athletic. So I feel like it was there at some point. So that's why I was wondering.
No, not really. No, I didn't play sports. I didn't play like a lot of people. We have a lot of soccer players for some reason. So I never played soccer, never did anything like that. I wasn't particularly athletic. I was a manager of the football team in high school, and that was really fun. And but yeah, I'm still not super into sports. Don't tell anybody, but I don't.
Right. Yeah.
Jarod watches football on Sunday, and I just sit there and read a book. I'm not super into sports, but except, now I do identify as an athlete, which is crazy because my whole life I never identified as an athlete.
Right.
And now I would refer to myself as an athlete, which is so cool. It's so fun.
Because you do like to compete in CrossFit, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so fun.
Yeah. So you're an athlete now.
Now I think I am. I think I somehow mistakenly became an athlete at 32.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. What about you, Jarod? What's your background in fitness?
I'm gonna finish her statement there at the end, though. She's an athlete until it comes to throwing something, and then she's not an athlete anymore. It certainly changes. Yeah, I was probably the very far end of the spectrum compared to her. I grew up playing sports, like age 5, played soccer. I basically played like every sport there was, the whole way up through high school. Went to college, competed collegiately in track and field, and got done. And I think I ran into the same issue that most people do is you finish college, you're doing sports, and then you're like, what the heck do I do now? Because you can't just go play basketball or run track like I did. You can't do those things.
Right.
So it's like, what do you do next that keeps you active and makes you feel like you're doing something as opposed to going to the gym and what everybody was doing back then, which was just doing bodybuilding stuff. 3 sets of 8 to 12, just doing that day after day and hoping that you get better. And you're like, this kind of sucks.
Right.
And so that was probably 2009. And my journey, obviously, just it diverged into a lot of different directions. It did MMA for a while, started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the time, a little bit of CrossFit, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And basically, I've just taken all those experiences from that point until now. And that's kind of what guides our gym in terms of what our programming looks like. It's not just one thing or the other. It's a combination of all the things that allows people to what I'm going to refer to as get the best out of all the worlds possible without having to dive into one or the other.
Right.
Because I've done all the things. I know there's extremes at one way or the other, and none of those are really good. So trying to find a happy balance is basically what we aim for all our members there.
Right.
You can run and you can lift weights.
Right.
You
exactly.
can do all the things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, hybrid athlete is such a big thing now.
Yeah,
like
there
to
you go.
to be a hybrid athlete, and I'm like, isn't that what we've been doing the whole time?
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that
yeah,
us?
Yeah.
I despise that term.
It's
I hate it,
crazy.
but whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean it's fine but it's just funny because like that's just what we do. We do think that there's a mixture of all the things, but
Right,
it
yeah.
is so annoying for someone who wants to be so athletic to be married to somebody who's so naturally athletic.
Right.
It is crazy. It is insane because he just
Yeah.
I guess from doing sports, there's just something that you get that like your body just like responds.
Right, yeah.
Mine doesn't do it quite as easy, but it's
Yeah.
so funny watching him like his body awareness. Like we'll be doing something in the gym and he's just like, oh, like this, and he just does it. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah. It just
must
comes
be
natural.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people like me have to work a little harder, but it's still fun.
Right. Yeah. And I think what's cool about your guys' gym, like for my case, for instance, so I kind of same way as Jarod. Like I played soccer my whole life, get out of college, now what? So then I got into CrossFit, and I've done that for a long time. But with like injuries along the way and stuff that I've had, now I can come to you guys and you can say, okay, well, maybe you can't do this class. We have this for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you have something for everybody. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you've had an injury in the past. So that's really cool with you guys.
Yeah, and I think it speaks a lot to Jared's education in the field. He didn't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to open a gym." Like there was a
Right,
lot
yeah.
of thought and everything put into this. And it took years of cultivating, and his knowledge is really what I rely on
Right.
in,
Yeah.
in making sure that our athletes stay safe, and
Right.
that, we're not just out here because anybody can write a workout that will make you sweaty.
Right. Yeah.
Any idiot on the street can write a
Yeah.
workout that will make you sore.
Right.
That's
yeah.
not hard.
Yeah.
I could do that right now, but that's
Yeah.
not the point. That's not what we want to do.
Right.
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to make you sore. I don't want to beat you up. We want you to get stronger and better. And stronger and better, there's a science.
Yeah.
It has to make sense. It has to be logical.
Right.
And I mean, I can tell you, he locks himself in the office and, does whatever. I don't even know. I don't go in there when he's programming. I
yeah.
leave him alone.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a science to what he does to put together a program that keeps people healthy and safe and happy and coming back. We have athletes, and I'm really proud of this. We have athletes that train 5, 6, 7 days a week with us, and they don't come in beat up and hurt. I don't want them to. They get better, but they don't
Right.
get hurt.
Right, yeah.
That's great. That's what I want.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure. I mean, there's a science to what he does. I watch look at some of your workouts, and maybe it doesn't make sense to everybody's mind, but you have to trust the process. No, like he knows what he's doing,
Yes.
and you just follow the process type thing. So, yeah.
Years of
Kudos to you,
cultivating that.
Jared. Yeah.
I know. And then all he said was, "I can't throw." And I hear, do you hear how nice I am?
Yeah.
And he tells everyone I can't throw. Okay, it's true though. I can't throw, but
But you can do like ring muscle ups and all that.
that's right.
Which is not easy.
No, I can do
A lot
ring
of
muscle
technique.
ups, which is not easy. Yes, I've worked
Yeah.
really hard on them.
So how did you guys transition from your previous careers? Jared, you were a teacher, and then you were insurance, right?
Yes.
So how do you transition from that to be an entrepreneur? I'm sure there's a lot of scary moments.
You want to take that?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think when I left teaching. I think it was around 2017 or 2018. I was given an opportunity to be able to leave my position and at teaching and go full time into a coaching realm. And so it was one of those things to where if I was deeper into my teaching career, probably wouldn't have done it. I think most people kind of feel the same way. If you're getting close to the point where you can see yourself retiring, and I was very, very far away from that. And I thought I can always go back to teaching. Let me try this coaching thing because it's something I've been passionate about for a long period of time. And jumped into that, and I want to say around 2019 or 2020, started my own business where I was doing a lot of remote programming for people, whether it's locally, across the area. Like now it's even grown. I have people in Israel and France.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, that was kind of the start of my journey. And then so years of that experience and just kind of helped lead to where we are now where, I knew enough of the things behind the scene that I had to do to make sure that we were successful, the things that we need to have in place for us to continue to grow and evolve over the time. So yeah, just kind of, I wouldn't say it fell into my lap. It was something that continued because of like my own analytical approach to things. Like I want to get better. I want to do all these things. And as you continue to study and read and evolve and grow, it's like you kind of just find what your next natural progression is, which is,
Right.
At some point in time, it's like, hey, I think I'm ready to do this on my own. I want to be able to make the decisions that have an impact, not necessarily follow directions that are given to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
And-
we're passionate about it.
Sure.
Yeah. That definitely shows too with like your social media, everything you guys do. So I think this community is very blessed to have you guys doing what you're doing.
Well,
And you're exploding quickly.
thank you.
You add like 4 members a day, I feel like. Every day. Welcome new
Yeah.
members. Welcome new members. I'm like, oh my gosh.
We just
how-
welcomed 3 today. We just
Yeah.
posted it on the way in.
That's awesome. So
So-
do you guys have like a 5-year, 10-year vision of where you want to go? Do you want to expand, or are you just kind of letting it happen organically?
So we have talked about a couple things, I think, that are potential that right now, our biggest 5-year plan for me is making sure that our members stay happy and healthy. Our
Right.
retention rate is great, and that's what I care about. I
Right.
don't want a gym where people sign up and then never show up. I
Right.
don't want, that is a model for Planet Fitness. That's someone else's business model. That is not my business model.
Right.
I care about each member individually. I want to make sure that they are individually meeting their goals. So, my biggest plan in the next 5 years is making sure that, not only do I sign up members, like that's cool. Yes, I do want people to sign
Right,
up,
yeah.
of course, but I want you to show up. I
Right.
want you to stay. I want you
Right.
to continue to grow. And, the community really cares about each other. And that's something
Right.
that we have to cultivate from the top.
Right.
We have to put the effort in to show that, this community cares about one another, and we do those things. And we have a lot of time to do that, hopefully, because we've
Right.
only been open it'll be a year in April. So
Somewhere
we're
around
not
there,
even a
yep.
year
Yeah.
in yet. So
Yeah.
we still
Which-
have
Right. Yeah. A long way to go.
a lot of growth,
Right.
growth to happen, but it's really, right now, I think we're just in the place where we want to lay a really good foundation.
Right.
These are our community guidelines. This is
Right.
what you can expect from us consistently.
Right. Yeah.
We're consistent people. We're not going to drop you. We're not going to do anything crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So what you expect from us is, consistency and good programming. And we're building that foundation right now.
Right. And how has it been working together as husband and wife? Has there been challenges? Do you complement each other?
Yes. Before he starts, I always joke that he is the head and I'm the heart. So I think it works really well in that aspect, where I think he would agree that there are certain domains that he is good at. Like he does. I'm never going to try to program a workout. I'm just
Right.
not. I know I'm not good at it.
Right,
And
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I'm not going to step on his toes when it comes to certain things. And I think that there are certain things you think that I probably take the lead on, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, you listen to the conversation right now, right? It's she is a very extrovert, and I am more introvert, and I can be extrovert for periods of time, but it's just not my personality, not who I am. So it does balance out well that there are certain things that require like a certain level of focus and things like that, and like that's very much me. That's like my math brain, all the things that I've ever done there. Whereas like she can go into a room with 20 people and carry on conversations. If I have to go into a room with 20 strangers, like that's not my forte. It's not something I'm going to enjoy doing. I can force myself to do it,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's just not my strong suit. So we do balance each other out well that way. I mean, like, everybody has arguments and disagreements, and that's certainly part of it. But the thing I try to remember too is even when we disagree on something that we're like really butting heads, it's not because one of us is trying to prove the other's wrong or right. Like we both want the gym to grow. We want positive things for the gym. So if we're disagreeing on it, it's just because we want things to improve, but we just have our different view of how we want that to occur. So
Right. Yeah. And when you guys first started, so you said it would be a year in April. Is it overwhelming having to like order all the equipment, get it put together? I know the community jumped in and like really helped you, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
yeah, overwhelming. No, because early on when the thought became when that thought moved from like, hey, this is something we're thinking about to this is something we're really thinking about doing to like, hey, we're going to commit to doing this. Like again, analytical part of me, like I've been price shopping. I've been like calling. So I have like
Hardiness cart.
Yeah, I have like spreadsheets where I'm comparing this to this to this and all those things.
We had two very different experiences.
Yeah.
Right,
I
yeah.
said, okay,
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go buy stuff. But like I mapped out how many people, blah blah blah.
Very
all
different
those,
people.
all those little things. So overwhelming, no. Kind of knew what we had, but we also knew that we were going to buy what we needed to get things started, and that we would continue to purchase things over time. We want people to see that that their investment in themselves and in the gym is something they can see on a continual basis. We just bought another bike this past week, to add to our equipment, and so we'll continue to grow and evolve. But yeah, kind of deviated away from your question, but hopefully that answers.
Yeah, no. I mean, it keeps it exciting too, because if you're a member at a gym and you show up and there's a new air runner or a new bike, like
It's cool.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's like Christmas.
We just got a Jacob's ladder. You ever
Oh,
seen
right.
one of those?
A long time ago, like in high school.
That thing
There you
is
go.
so cool. It's so
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, and that's part of, if we wanted to get rich, we would probably do something else.
Right, yeah.
It's this, you don't do this job because you want to get rich.
Right.
You
it's-
do, I don't think anyone who owns a business can tell you, that, especially in the first year, we're definitely, we're working hard. And we want people, like Jarod said, to show up and see, that we're investing their membership back into them.
Right,
We're not, we want to take care of them. We want to make sure that they have, the best of the best.
Right. And then can you talk a little bit about like what nutrition services you offer?
Ooh, yes. That's me.
Yeah.
I am a nutrition coach. So we have a staff of nutrition coach. So it's me, it's Karina, it's Tammy, and it's Julia. We are all of the nutrition coaches.
Okay.
And each one of us brings something a little bit different to the table. So we have nutrition coaches like myself who are a little bit more geared toward macro coaching, and that's a little bit more my forte. I do have lifestyle clients as well, and I love coaching them too. But macros is more my kick. And then we have people that are a little bit more lifestyle based, where it's just a little bit more, how we can make gentle changes in our day to day without counting food, because that can be really triggering and a lot.
Right.
And people have been lied to, women specifically. I mean, men also, but women specifically have been lied to for a really long time about what they need to eat in order to feel good in their body and to lose weight, to feel good, to gain muscle, to reach whatever body they desire. And they've been told everything from they have to be able to fit all of their food in these color-coded containers before they can eat it, or they have to use the point system, or they can't eat red meat, or they can't eat gluten. Just the lies, the absolute lies. So I've made it my mission as a nutrition coach to try to break through some of those lies and, just meet people where they are and say, hey, we don't have to be afraid of bread.
Right.
Bread's delicious. And believe it or not, you can eat bread.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And you're going to be fine. And you can still be healthy. So it's a process when people sign up with me, where I tell them right away, I'm like, we're not going to turn your whole world upside down right now, because that's what you sign up for some of the tougher programs that are like that.
Right.
You can't stick to that.
Yeah.
That's a very short-term fix to a long-term problem.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You've had this problem for 20 years, and then you think you're going to cut out gluten for a month and suddenly all your problems are going to be fixed. And I'm like, this is not how this works at all. But I understand why people think that. It's not their fault that they think this way.
I mean, well, we're being fed that stuff online.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Everything you see online is not true.
It's a gimmick.
No.
It's all a gimmick, and they want to sell you things. And I'm like, no, and food isn't scary. Food is delicious. And I want to teach people not to be afraid of pizza. It's cool. And there's a balance between the two. Can you eat a vegetable too? Can you get your protein numbers? But there's a balance between everything.
How do you feel about the word diet? Do you steer away from that? It's not a diet. It's more of a lifestyle change.
Yeah, definitely. So, and it should be, and if people want to call it a diet to get into it, what you call it to get into it, I don't care. As long as you get into it, I don't care what you call it. The only words that really trigger me, and I go off on a tangent, is when people call food good and bad. Right. And I'm like, whoa. We're not putting a moral compass on my Frosted Flakes.
Right, yeah.
That's not bad. It is simply a carbohydrate. That's it.
Right, yeah.
There is a place in your diet for them. Carbohydrates, especially if you're doing the kind of athleticism that I'm doing, they're good for you. I need those. Anyone who does what I do on keto, you ain't gonna make it.
Right, yeah. You gotta have energy.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Right, yeah.
So I just think education is really what we try to steer towards. And I just had a conversation with a PT this morning who wants to come in and give an educational talk to our members about shoulder health, and we're always open to that kind of stuff. We just had Dr. DeHaven talk about menopause at earlier this month. Because I want to educate people on what food is. That's all I want to do. I want to give them the education of what it does in your body and, why I'm telling you to eat it. And I don't want you to call it good or bad. It just is. Yeah. And you need it to live. So you better learn to figure it out.
Right, exactly. This episode is brought to you by, me. If you're looking at buying or selling in Virginia or West Virginia, I'm Matt Kilmer with eXp Realty, ready to help you with all your real estate needs. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling your current one, I've got you covered. Reach out to me below and let's make a move. All right, back to the good stuff. And do you guys have any special stories you could share of a client maybe that you've helped with personal training or nutrition, and you basically seen them go from point A to point B, and it's just like a drastic change?
I have a couple clients. One that I'm working with, I'm still working with her now, in particular.
Yeah.
And she was someone who, came in and same thing, didn't really know what to do. She had done every extreme diet in the world, and all of them were, you would lose weight for a little bit of time, right? Like you would lose maybe 10 pounds, but then
Right.
nowhere in there did they teach you how to eat after that extreme diet.
Right. Yeah.
So after you went back to eating, or they would do also, so they would do extreme diets, or they would do the meal order things where they
yeah.
mail you your food.
Right. Yeah.
What happens when they stop mailing you your food?
Yeah,
You don't
or
know how to eat.
or you can't afford to spend
Yeah,
$1,500 a month.
exactly. Yes, exactly. So, and she was getting really frustrated with herself and her body. And when she came to me, she was like, I've tried everything, is what she told me. She was like, and she gave me the gamut.
Right,
She
yeah.
had tried everything.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, we're going to try something different. We're going to try just eating regular food.
Right.
And she was like, I don't know. Sounds suspect.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's just give me a chance.
Right. Yeah.
And she was from the jump the best client in the world, because she said, okay, I trust you. And she did exactly what I said. Even now, she does exactly what I say.
Right.
I give her the why, so it's easier for her, because I don't just say, hey, do this. I tell her
Right.
why she's doing it. And she has lost 20 pounds in
wow.
a very maintainable, healthy way. Do you know what I prescribed for her last week?
What?
To have a sweet treat every like on her sweet treat day. I was
Right.
like, and I said, do you know what we're not going to feel? Guilt. We're not going to feel shame. We're not going to spiral. We're going to talk about our relationship with food and how it's when you say, hey, this is okay. We're not being bad.
Right.
This is
yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
You're rewarding yourself. It's a great, like, ice cream's delicious.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and I'm never going
I
to tell you
agree.
not to eat ice cream. So yes, I have a client who has successfully and is still losing weight, but she has successfully lost 20 pounds and working with me. She has been working with me for 2 months, but she's been a member longer. She's been working with me for 2 months, but she's been a member longer. And yeah, she's just phenomenal. And I think that that's what it's all about. Makes me so happy.
No. And what is that? Do you have any stories like in the kind of the fitness realm where somebody has really changed their life?
I think the most interesting thing is, we tend to believe that, in our 20s, in that 20 to 30 range, like that's as fit and healthy as you're ever going to be, right?
Right.
You're going to lift the most, you're going to run the fastest, you're going to run the farthest, whatever. And really, it's not the case at all. It kind of just depends on where you start your, I'll say, athletic journey, because some people we have didn't start until they were 50. Some people we have started when they were 5. It varies a lot. And I think the most intriguing thing of our members is we have people that have been training for, years and years at a time. And for them to hit a PR when they're 57 years old, like that's the most they've ever lifted.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty freaking impressive. Like nobody would think about, I had a PR at 57.
Right.
And so, the goal for us is, again, like, can you be healthy? I don't care how much if you lift more or lift less, but like, can you just be healthier, on this slow, progressive incline over time? And that's what we aim for. And so, we have that with countless members who, we go through our little cycle, and they get stronger, they get faster, and for them to do that at ages beyond that 20 to 30 range, I think really speaks to them. And it speaks to the people around them that continue to support them. It speaks to their home life, all the things and all the changes they've chosen to make. But nothing sticks out in particular. But like we have stories like that are probably at every single class, where people are just fitter now and happier and healthier now than they were at a much younger age.
Right. Yeah. And have you guys trained anybody that has like done like serious competitions, like made it to maybe not the CrossFit Games, but
Actually, the CrossFit Games.
CrossFit Games. So
Yeah.
Not me, him.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Had one there. And
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
have one there. I think we have what's cool is we have athletes who do like a lot of different events. Whether it's like running or, I'm not even sure what you call what Brad does, but it's like
Ultra marathoning.
well, yeah, the ultras as well. But that was before us. But he does a lot of things that are related with like horses and things like that now.
Oh,
which,
right.
Again, that's beyond my understanding, but like,
Right.
it's cool just to see people again like take their fitness, use it somewhere as opposed to just like getting fitter and faster in the gym, which is great. But you want to be able to do all those things whenever you're older and be able to apply that fitness, not just hey, I look good in the gym, I go outside, I can't do anything else. It's real world applicable.
Right.
I like that term better than functional because I again, that's me on my soapbox, but I hate the term functional because everybody uses it, and so when everybody uses it, it means nothing.
I use
Right.
the word functional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sure it's rewarding for you guys when you have members come back to you and they're like, hey, you've changed my life or whatever, whether it's nutrition or fitness or whatever. And then, I don't know, do you have like maybe say parents come in and they're like, I don't have time to work out. And then you kind of coach them through that and just, say come 2 days a week, then 3 days a week, or how do you guide people on that?
Oh yeah. So we have also a lot of parents, and I think that we're not parents ourselves, but I can imagine, especially when you're a good parent, the amount of time and effort that it takes. You have to be the most selfless person in the world to be a parent.
Right,
to be a good parent.
Right.
You have to really, you are no longer on the forefront. Even your partner isn't even on the forefront. You can't even take care of each other anymore.
Right.
You got other little things that are depending on you for life. So when anyone comes to us and they say, "Hey, I'm a mom or I'm a dad and I've really let myself go," and their motivation is their kids.
Right.
For
yeah.
a lot of them that come to us, they come to us and they say, "Hey, I want to be the best parent I can be. I want to play with my kids. I want to have energy. I want to be able to run and be active in their life, not just sit on the sidelines and watch them play."
Right.
Like I want to
exactly.
crawl on the floor with them, but
Yeah.
I'm, and it has been a wake up call for some people to be like, "Hey, I got on the floor with them and I couldn't get up." And
Right,
like,
yeah.
and they don't want their kids to see them that way. They want, especially like dads. Dads want to be seen as like dad. Like they want to be seen as like
Right, yeah.
super dad. And, I think it's been a wake up call for some of them. So we do have a kids room that kids, if parents come in, we tell them like, "Hey, your kids can sit in here." I don't even know why we bothered to put a TV in there, but we did because kids
Right.
have tablets now. And we
Right.
thought we were cool because we got a TV and a DVD player. We're
They're-
idiots.
they're
I don't know
prob-
why
they're
we did
probably-
that.
They probably have no idea.
And a Nintendo, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
but-
we put a
okay.
Nintendo. No
Too-
one thinks we are obviously
No.
out of touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's easy as parents too, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that struggle, kind of like you said, like put your kids first and then you go on the back burner. But really, that's going to affect your kids whether you realize it or not. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you're not healthy, if you can't pick them up and play sports with them and all that stuff, then they're going to suffer for that. So
And is that what you want to teach them? Like, do you want to teach them that, hey, when you get older, guess what? You get put on the back burner and you stop caring. No,
Right.
you don't want your girls to see that, do you?
right, yeah,
Like you want your girls to see like, hey, it's okay to it's not selfish. It's not wrong. It's not bad.
yeah,
It's none of those things. It's
Right.
good. It's necessary. So, we have plenty of, parents who tote their kids right in. And I'm not gonna lie, the kids kind of love it. I think the kids kind of
Yeah.
think it's cool.
Oh, it's probably like a jungle gym to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much.
We
all
do
it
have
is.
a few rules, like no kids on the mat during gym time, because that's for safety reasons. But they all play together. They all have fun. No one plays with our Nintendo, but whatever. It's cool.
I do.
Yeah, we do. But it's so yeah, I think and we have had a lot of people, that's their time to give back to themselves.
Right.
And
yeah.
we see a huge difference in them. And they tell us that, they see a difference in the way that they're able to parent. Like, I'm able to be more patient. I'm able to be more calm. I'm able to be, more confident in, my ability to move my body when I'm with my kids. Like, if something happened, I knew I could pick you up and carry you.
Right.
Because
Exactly. Yeah.
I do it in the gym.
right.
And like, that's really powerful. That's really great. What else are we training for if not that?
Yeah. Exactly. And training for life, really.
Yes, we are training
Yeah.
for life. Very few of us at my gym actually compete.
Right.
We're
yeah.
not that kind of gym. I do it because I think it's the most fun in the entire world. But Jarod doesn't. He does not think it's the most fun in the entire world. Jarod does the workouts. He does the fitness that we all do.
Yeah.
But he does it for a very different reason. He does jujitsu. Like, this isn't even his sport. This is my sport.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
not to say that this has to be your thing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
it can be, a means to do something.
whatever
else.
you want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what would you say? I know you're really passionate, and especially like with the women's side and everything. There's so many girls, women, whatever you want to say, that say, I don't want to lift weights because I'll get too bulky. What would you say to that?
Girl, what I would say to you, ma'am listening to this right now who says you don't want to get bulky.
How much time you got? She might go on a rant here.
This is going to be a second. No.
Cut her off.
No, but all I will say is that I can tell you that I am someone who, I do not have like a supersonic, like genetic gift by any means. And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. I have been at this for 9 years. I eat 3,500 calories a day and I lift very heavy weights, actively trying to get bulky. I would like to have more muscle mass, and it's just not that easy.
Right,
Any woman who says, hey, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm going to get bulky, I'll be like, great, then you better not drive your car because you might become a NASCAR racer.
Right.
Like there are so many steps between point A and point B there that you're not going to get bulky, you're going to get strong.
Right.
And you're going to get fit and you're going to get confident in your body and you're going to build muscle on your frame. And a lot of women are in really a metabolic mess. Their metabolism they've really wrecked it over time by under eating and putting themselves in a really like big fight or flight mode and not taking care of their bodies properly, right? So then we get to a certain age and we're like, oh, my metabolism slowed down. And I'm like, actually, you wrecked it. How do we speed up our metabolism? So glad you asked. You do it by building muscle, because your muscle on your frame actually metabolizes faster. Your body has to work harder to hold that muscle mass than it does fat. So by building more muscle on your frame, you do not get bulky. You actually just fix your metabolism, which is the problem you've been trying to fix for years with all these crash diets. But I'm going to fix it in a way that's way more fun. Because do you know what's way more fun than crash dieting?
What's that?
Lifting heavy.
There you go. Yeah.
Far more fun.
And what about the whole everybody wants to do 10,000 steps a day? Do you guys have like an opinion on that? Like, is walking, it's more, I guess, sustainable than maybe running over time for your knees? What do you think about that?
So what's funny is like the 10,000 number just kind of appeared. Like there's not any research to back any of those things. Yeah. The actual number is 8,000. But, let me dive into the running stuff. I think where people get themselves hurt because runners have like the highest incidence of injury on a yearly basis. It's like, I think it's like 80% experience time when they have to take at least a week off of running because they just jump into it too much too soon. You've been sitting on the couch for a long period of time. You decide, hey, I'm going to go out and run 30 minutes. Probably not the best idea because you haven't had any time to adjust. Like, you see calf, Achilles, shin, all those get beat up. When if they simply went and said, hey, I'm going to start by walking first. Okay, great. I'm going to do that 4 or 5 days a week, walk for 30 minutes. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to jog for 15 seconds and walk 45 seconds. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go and just kind of gradually build some sort of progressive pattern where they can see they're going to improve. Then running wouldn't be the issue. But is walking alone enough? No. I mean, like, it's going to help you, obviously do more than just sitting on the couch or, if you're at a desk job. I understand walking can certainly be very, very helpful, but it's not going to make you stronger. It's not going to, you can't really walk fast enough to get any good cardiovascular benefit from it. So it's something we certainly encourage, like be active, but, hey, I'm going to go walk 30 minutes a day and that's going to be like my go-to. It can't hurt. It can't hurt, but it's only going to help to a small degree.
Right. And if you guys, so the listeners out there, if you could give one piece of advice to somebody that has been sitting on the couch for, 10 plus years, and they think that they have to get in shape before they come to your gym, what would you say to them?
That's like saying you got to get saved before you go to church, friend.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you try to do it on your own, if you think you have to get fit before you come see me, you're going to end up frustrated. You're going to end up another year wasted where you just could have came and seen us and got it taken care of properly the first time, and this is, I don't, even saying that's a judgment-free zone sounds so silly. But it is like, no one is looking at, that's the big fear, right? Like you go to the gym and someone's going to look at you.
Right. Yeah.
No one's looking at you. Everyone's worried about themselves. Everyone's worried. The only person looking at you is your coach. and they should be looking at you.
Right. Yeah.
Because they want to make sure you're safe, and they want to make sure you're okay, and they want to make sure that you're doing everything properly.
Yeah.
But get out of your own way.
Right,
If you're on the fence about it, just try, and it'll be the best choice you ever made.
Yeah. So kind of come in, leave your pride at the door. Don't worry about anybody else.
No,
It's you versus you, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at anybody else. Nobody cares. It's
Right.
leave your pride and your ego at the door for sure.
Right.
Because we work from the basics. I have a foundations class that's all about foundational movement,
Right.
just building foundational functional movement. And we get down to the nitty gritty in that class.
Right,
and
yeah.
Make sure that everyone's moving well. So I will make sure that you're safe.
Right. And can you kind of give us a rundown of like the classes you offer, like the times and types of classes?
We have a 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. strength and conditioning class. The strength and conditioning class is fully coach-led group fitness. In that class, you will get barbells, you will get dumbbells, you will get gymnastics, all of the things that I just said. Everyone's like, I can't do that. It's all modifiable, and scalable to your experience level.
Right.
So obviously, your workout might look a little bit different if you're brand new versus someone who's been there or doing this for 6 years.
Right.
And it should.
Right.
You should have a progression. If the fitness that you're doing right now does not give you a place to progress to, like to get better, you're doing the wrong fitness. So yes, everything in there is able to be modified to your experience level. And then also we offer a 7 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's my foundations class.
Okay.
That class is very, very similar to the standard strength and conditioning class. It's just a little bit more scaled back, less intense. It's also a shorter class time duration. It's only 45 minutes versus an hour. And we focus a little bit more on just foundational movements. And it's a great complementary class, actually. Some people take both. Crazy people.
Oh, yeah. That like to work out multiple times a day.
They love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you just walk in, if somebody just, shows up, walks in the door, they've never done CrossFit before, they don't need to worry. They can go to the foundations and you can kind of lead them into the normal class?
Yeah, so good question. If somebody comes to us and they're brand new and like, hey, I want to get fit. I saw this place. My friends have talked about it. We do have an onboarding process that they would go through in order to get into classes, and it's not because we're trying to stall them or give them more steps to jump into class. We just want them to feel as safe and confident as they can when they start into class. So, if you go in and there's barbells and you've never touched a barbell and that's your very first day, I can see why somebody wouldn't want to come back. That might be intimidating to them. But if you spent time with a barbell for a period of time with a coach in a one-on-one setting, you're obviously going to feel much more confident and infinitely more capable when you touch that barbell again in the same class setting. So again, everybody who's brand new will come to that. Everybody who maybe has some degree of experience, they might not be required to go through the entire onboarding, but either way, we're not a facility that's just going to throw you in the class and just like, hey, here you go, figure it out.
Right.
We do offer a free class because we want people to come in and get a feel for what things are like. But there is a process for you to get started in the gym because, again, we want you to be successful, not just come in, drop your money off, and leave. Like, that's not what we're about.
Right. And if people are busy, they need to come into the 5, 6 a.m., then they can shower there, get ready for work.
Yeah.
Go off, get it all done.
We have beautiful showers. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming out today and sharing all this stuff. If somebody does want to start, what's the best way for them to do it? Should they call you, website?
Yeah, great question. They can just head to our website, www.540-fitness.com. There's a contact form. They fill it out. It goes either directly to her or to myself, and we're quick to respond to those things. We'll reach out to schedule a call to chat with you and figure out where you're at in your fitness journey and how we can move you on to that next step.
Perfect. Well, everybody out there listening, make sure you check them out. You'll be in good hands, and thank you guys for everything.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks,
You're the
Matt.
best.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.